Welcome, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us today for part 4 in our 5-part webinar series about ArcGIS Online for local government. I'm Allison Walker with Electronic Data Solutions, and I'll be your host today. In the previous webinars, we've focused a lot on public utilities and fire and police, which have a lot to do with field data collection and asset management. Today we get to change gears a little and focus on managing land records using ArcGIS Online for land records. If you want to view any of our past webinars, you can find those at electdata.com/webinars. Please don't hesitate to send me your questions and comments using the questions section in your webinar. And I promise to keep an eye on that better than I have in the past. So I want to start right off with showing a couple of examples out of ArcGIS for land records collection. One of the more popular applications available is this one, free to download and configure, called the Land Use Public Notification app. And what it does is allow you to choose a feature on the map, whether a parcel or road, buffer that feature to find all the parcels within a certain distance, and create a printable mailing list in a matter of seconds. So this is a clip of a video done by Esri and available on the solutions.arcgis.com site if you want to view it or get additional information. But I wanted to show a little piece of this video. So what they're doing here is they're going to go ahead and search for a specific address. So they're going to search for an address using the address tool here. And when they come in, then they will go use this mailing tool, and then you can buffer this parcel on a certain distance. So say we need to notify all of the property owners about something happening here. Maybe it's changing its land use classification or something like that. So we're going to download the labels, and you have some printer options there. When you click the button that creates the buffer, it selects all the parcels, and it prints out your mailing list, just like that. You can do the same thing with a road. So they can search for a road here. Let's say something's happening on this road. There's a construction project, or they need to do work on a water main, and they need to notify everybody, all of the owners as well as the occupants who are within a certain distance of this road. So basically touching the road. They're just going to do a buffer of 50 feet. Going to notify the property owners and the occupants, download the labels, it creates the buffer, selects all the parcels, and brings up the printable labels there for you. So this can be configured by your GIS team. You can have some additional background maps there. There are some other tools. You can print the map, you can share the map. There are some very simple tools in there. And then this can be shared internally with those who need to do this sort of public notification. So the public notification app would likely be shared only internally and not with the public, but the local government model does have apps that share info with the public also. And this is an example of one called the Tax Parcel Viewer. There's a video online for this also, but I wanted to show it to you on my phone first because that's an important thing to point out for all these apps, that they're fully supported on phones and tablets without any additional configuration by you. So here I am on my phone in the Tax Parcel Viewer. It's just a website, so when I go to that on my phone, I get a little disclaimer here about what the Tax Parcel Viewer does and how to use it. So I'm going to use the search tool and search for an address, and I'm just going to use the one that's in here as an example because I know there's data there. So when I search for that, it zooms to that location, and I can see the neighborhood around it. And if I use this little go to button here, then it brings up all the information that I can see about this parcel. That tax parcel ID there, that actually has a link to a photo of the property that I could view. It has tax and school district information, value information, tax information, all that stuff is listed there. I can tap on the neighborhood and see information about the neighborhood. And then this broadband tab is actually a piece of the application that ArcGIS Online will host for you and include with the application. And you can see all the broadband information for this area or for this particular property. So I'm going to get out of here. There's also this layers button here, so I can turn on some additional layers about foreclosures or sales if I want to see that information. And if I zoom out a little bit, I should be able to find some of those. Yep, here are some up in this area up here. Excuse me. So just like any other parcel in this map, I can tap on the one that I'm interested in, tap on the little arrow, and see the information about that property. So again, all configured and looking nice for my phone. Now I also want to share this map. Maybe I want to share it to Facebook or Twitter, or I can email it to myself or somebody else who might be interested. So I wanted to show too a little clip of the video that again is on ArcGIS.com. So you can see some of the additional tools that are available in the desktop version of this application. So again, when we come into the website, we get the little directions there that come up first. Again, you can use the search tools to search for a specific address. It will take you right there, show you the information. There's the link to the photo of the property. All in there, basically you're seeing the same information. This one also has the Create Property Report tool. So when you click that button, you can get a report and a printable map of this property. Another tool that's available here is the feedback tool, Provide Feedback. So when you click that, say I'm the owner of this property here and I can see that there's a problem with the parcel, I can submit that information and provide some feedback to the GIS department by filling out some information here. There's a neat little draw tool in here, so I can even highlight the area that I'm talking about and then provide some contact information. So the person who made this video for Esri also happens to be named Allison, so she's filling out her contact information there. And then you can submit that information and that will go straight to the city. Okay, so there are some additional tools. Again, you have some imagery that you don't have on the handheld that you could view on the desktop, and basically all the same information is shown there. Excuse me. So those are a couple examples of the very focused apps available. Notice that they provide a lot of information without being overwhelming to use because there aren't so many options that the user has to filter through a bunch of stuff they don't need. Also, they're fully customizable, so you're welcome to modify them if you have a little programming experience and can host the apps on your server. So I want to do a quick poll for my own information here. I want to see what the interest level is here. So I wanted to get some feedback. If you can get some feedback in here. Are you interested in these? You can select more than one. Interested in the public notification, interested in the tax parcel viewer. We already have these or something similar, or I really don't have any interest at all. So I'm going to wait just a second here. It looks like people are still voting. Wait for that to slow down a second. And it looks like we're slowing up, so just a couple more seconds to answer. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and close this poll. And you should be able to see the results there. So a lot of interest in the tax parcel viewer and the public notification, and some of you are already doing this, and 0% say no interest, which is good because that hopefully is why you're here. Okay, so I need to get back here to the presentation. Can you do me a favor and just raise your hand if you're seeing my next slide, the configuring the apps slide? Can you let me know? Just raise your hand and let me know if that's coming up or if I'm having trouble. Looks like you are seeing it. Okay. If you don't see the slides advance here, just be sure to let me know so I can fix that problem. Okay, so when you download any of the solutions from solutions.arcgis.com, you get everything you need to stand up the apps, including the files needed to host the application, the geoprocessing tools, the MXDs, and the local government geodatabase. Now, these two applications do require that you have ArcGIS for server. The data that feeds the apps can all be hosted in ArcGIS Online if you don't want to host them on your server, but the required geoprocessing tools need to be published using ArcGIS for server. And that's not true for all the applications available. For example, the Assessment Appeal app is just a geoform that can be easily configured using ArcGIS Online. The link can be embedded in your website so that property owners can easily file a request to review the property assessment, and that information is automatically saved in a feature layer in ArcGIS Online or your server, and it's immediately accessible to the GIS team or the assessor's office, depending on how you set that up. Or there's the value analysis or any other dashboards. Really only require the operations dashboard for ArcGIS, which is a free download, or once it's configured, it can be viewed in a URL instead of locally. So even if you don't have ArcGIS for server yet, there are still tons of focused maps and apps available for you to download and configure with your data. So standing up these nice little apps is one thing, but maintaining the data that feeds them is quite another, right? So those of you dealing with land records know that data is being updated on a fairly regular basis, and keeping the updated data in the hands of those who need it can be a real challenge. You might feel like this poor guy sometimes. So this is another place where ArcGIS for local government provides some tools that will help streamline workflows to keep data up to date. I'm going to look at two categories of options here. So one is the community parcels configuration. And this is a great way to share data across agencies. So if you're a city government updating a county data set, or a county government updating a state data set, or maybe you're a tribal officer updating tribal trust records, the community parcels configuration might be the answer you're looking for. One benefit of the community parcels is that it does not require a Parcel Fabric. The Parcel Fabric is a really complete and accurate data set, but getting data into it can be an extremely laborious process, and many times just gets pushed to the side as a back burner project that then takes months or years to complete, which really doesn't help you today. The community parcels can work with a regular shapefile, and you can be up and running in a matter of hours. It allows you to automate the update of edits made on your local desktop to the hosted feature service on a scheduled basis. So you can run the tools from ArcMap or Catalog, or you can use Windows Scheduler to run the configured tool nightly or weekly or whatever works best. There are two options there. So one is the Parcel Contributor, which pushes updates directly to the feature service in ArcGIS Online or server, wherever you have that hosted. Or there's the Parcel Aggregator, which allows all edits to be sent to the community aggregator for approval and then updated. So if you're someone who needs to make edits to a parcel layer and communicating those edits back and forth between agencies is cumbersome or inefficient, then I would highly recommend looking into the community parcels, which again is available from the solutions.arcgis.com website in the land records section of maps and apps. In addition to automating updates, the community parcels comes with a standard set of maps that allows you to quickly publish data and share with anyone who needs access. So already built in, there's the parcel use map or improved structure map. There's the public lands and improved structure value maps, the land value, tax exempt property, and rural lands maps. And of course, you can always create your own maps and apps for whatever you need based on the feature layer that's published with the community parcels tools. That layer could feed other maps and apps as needed as well. These ones are just kind of built in and already configured to work with that particular data structure. Okay, on to the Parcel Fabric. So I want to do another poll here to get an idea of what you're doing so far. So I'm going to launch this poll. Are you using a Parcel Fabric? So yes, you are managing a Parcel Fabric. Yes, you are using one, but it's managed by somebody else. No, but we're interested. No, and we're not really sure we want it, or we know for sure that we don't want it. Or what's a Parcel Fabric is a valid answer also. Looks like we have about 80% voted, still coming in. I'll give it a few more seconds here. Well, 100%. Everybody's paying attention. That's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to close this and share the results. So yes, quite a few of you are already using a Parcel Fabric in one way or another. Some of you are interested, some not interested, some not sure what a Parcel Fabric is. So if you're not interested, you might not want to look for the next couple of minutes because that's what I'm going to talk about here. So I'm going to hide that. I'm going to restart my slide here. Okay, so again, just help me out. Let me make sure that I'm on the right page. Are you seeing the slide that says introduced in ArcGIS 10? Can you just raise your hand and let me know if you are seeing that slide? Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. So the Parcel Fabric, basically a continuous surface of connected features, was introduced at ArcGIS 10 in an effort to replace manual editing of land record data with a geospatially integrated data model. So if you look at it in Catalog, you'll see that it's a group layer, and it has a few different pieces to it. Locations are all based on control. It's really strict on topology, so it makes it a little bit more cumbersome to migrate data in, but it does have some great tools and workflows available, not to mention ensuring much higher accuracy, being able to store those legal descriptions, so a little bit better, more flexible, more functionality than just using a shapefile. Oops. So the Parcel Editor toolbar is used in ArcGIS Desktop to work with your Parcel Fabric. For example, when you have a parcel selected in your map and you click the Parcel Details button shown here towards the right side of the toolbar, then it brings up the Parcel Details dialog box that's used when editing and creating parcels, or to specify a parcel's related plan, or to set feature templates for new parcels. And there are a bunch of other tools available here to help you search for, explore, edit, and manage your parcel data. Unfortunately, we don't have much time to get into all of them here. One of the great things you can do with the Parcel Fabric and the Local Government Information Model and the Parcel Editor toolbar is work with the pre-configured Parcel Workflows to automate some of the common parcel processes. Use the automated parcel editing workflows to merge tax parcels, split tax parcels using 3 different methods, create a new subdivision manually or from CAD lines, or adjust tax parcel boundary lines. On the Parcel Workflows window, click the Settings icon located there at the bottom left corner, and you can change the visibility and display of workflows and change workflow functionality. Now there's a standalone application that works directly with the parcel workflows that we just looked at in the previous slides. This application is called Deed Drafter. So it's free to download from the Esri Solutions site. The Deed Drafter solution, it helps mapping technicians enter meets and bounds descriptions from deeds and recorded documents. It includes a data entry grid that can be used to enter single parcel traverse from its bearing and distance calls. Existing parcel information can be used as a backdrop, so encroachments can be seen and those can be addressed before the data gets submitted or recorded. And once complete, the parcel boundaries is saved to a cadastral XML file, and this little video will show you how that works, so that it can be appended to a new parcel and incorporated in the Parcel Editor workflows. So that window that we just looked at previously, that will come into play here at the end of this video. So it's another little clip from Esri's site, so you can go out to their site and you can watch this in full if you want to. I've clipped it down just to save us some time here. They first show a typical parcel workflow here. So first thing, the day in the life of a parcel, which is cute. So you enter in the new parcel information and check the closure. You're going to update your tax map book. You're going to update the property information or the property value information, and then share that information with the people who need it. So they'll do a little demo here of what the Deed Drafter can offer. So in the Parcel Navigator section over here, they're going to search, and they're searching just on the subdivision name. So just putting in the word Echo brings up all the parcels here in the Lakes of Echo Park subdivision area. So they're going to enter in a new parcel, and it's coming from a specific survey point. So they have a starting point here. Click on the map. It'll snap to that starting point there. And then they can enter in the information. So this parcel is going to start with an origin connection point, enter in the bearing and distance from that starting point, and you can see then it creates the line, and so there's the starting point of this new parcel that's coming in here. Enter in the rest of the information, it creates the rest of the boundaries there. And once you're finished, now you can see very clearly that this is, in fact, a parcel split. So you're going to choose that from the document type there. There are some additional tools there if you need to rotate it or scale it. And then you can share it. So you can save this, and this is where it saves that cadastral XML file that I mentioned earlier, or you can email that to somebody if somebody else is going to then enter this information. So in this video, they just save it locally to their computer. So they're saving that file there. And then coming back to the parcel workflows that we looked at earlier, they're going to do a parcel split using the meets and bounds. So if they go ahead and start this workflow, you're going to search for the work area and go find it and go through. And this is where usually the GIS person might be entering this information by hand, whoever's managing this, but they have this cadastral XML that was created with Deed Drafter. Bring in that file, run the rest of the workflow. You can make any changes that you need to in here, and there the parcel is automatically created in its correct location. Continue through, update the attributes, continue the rest of the workflow. So even though migrating to the Parcel Fabric can be a little bit overwhelming, it really does provide some great benefits, which we barely even touched on the surface here, for managing data once it's in there and maybe worth the effort to your organization. So one solution you might consider if you need an immediate solution is go ahead and use the community parcels to stand up something quickly so that you can begin sharing data and you can get those apps out there to the public while you're working on migrating to the Parcel Fabric. Certainly you can have both. You don't have to choose one or the other. So as I've mentioned in previous webinars, not only do we provide all our traditional field data collection services that you might know us for, we also have a range of services packaged around our ArcGIS Online specialty rating. So anywhere from full implementation services to just providing recommendations to training to just being an extra hand in one of your projects. We know that getting these services rolling, especially when it comes to parcels, can be a lot. So I just ask that you keep us in mind when you are ready to dive in and see what we can offer to save you some time and money, or if you have suggestions on how we might be able to help you, please feel free to contact us. So for additional information, there are some links here, and I would encourage you to go ahead and put in any questions you might have. And while we're waiting for that, I just wanted to show you a couple of things here. So we do have our own ArcGIS Online homepage here. You can go see that at ectronicdata.maps.arcgis.com. And we have examples of some things that you might consider out there. So we do have some story maps if you're interested in story maps. We do have a big section of our company that works specifically with mosquito control and pest control, and there's some example of maps in there. If you're collecting street signs, here is a geoform. So if you're interested in that geoform that I mentioned before, you can come take a look at that and see what that might look like. We do have a local government gallery that has some applications in there that you might take a look at. So you can go ahead and look at our homepage if you're interested in additional information there. We also have our blog, and you might already be following this, and if you're here, you might have seen the blog post that reminding you of this webinar. Because that's where we put that information there. But you can come in and search, say, just for ArcGIS, wow, I can't type here, online. And you'll see that we have quite a few different articles based around ArcGIS Online or Collector. So there's the operations dashboard, there's an article on that, status maps, what does your ArcGIS Online entitlement mean, ArcGIS Online for mosquito control, lots of different things out there. So that's another place to go ahead and go look. There's an article just on geoform for citizen engagement. And then you might also check out our ArcGIS Online services. So if you come out to our store, store.electdata.com, and then come over to the GIS services and look at ArcGIS Online, there, then you can see the different categories that we're working in with ArcGIS Online. So we do have some custom services. We have been working with road and highway safety, weed control, mosquito control, as I mentioned, and of course the local government and the the huge piece that that entails. If I go back here to GIS services, you can also come out and you might check out the Cedar Tree bundle. So if you're just kind of getting started with some of this stuff, you might come out and look at this nice little tablet if you're interested in running Collector on a more rugged handheld. That's a good option. And of course, if you have any questions that you want to ask me offline, you can always contact me, Allison with 1L, at electdata.com. So please feel free to reach out to me with your questions. And it doesn't look like... Looks like I've done a great job. Nobody has any questions. So I guess then that means that we're done a few minutes early here. So thanks so much for coming. I appreciate you joining us. And like I said, if you have any questions, please get in touch. And we'll see you on the next webinar.